an ongoing debate, a long debate pertaining to dogs. And this debate is one that states, or that argues, that golden retrievers are the best dog breed known to man. And I'm here to say that that is the case in my experience. I haven't had a German Shepherd or a Husky or any dogs like that. I've had a Black Lab, I've had a Golden Retriever. Then I've also had another dog that was an Australian Shepherd mixed with a bunch of different other dogs. Kind of looked like a lab. But October 27th, 2022, there was a dog born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And this dog just so happened to start living with my wife and myself very recently. Her name is Carmela, for obvious reasons. And when I took her to the vet the first time, I said, "Hey, my name is Zach Moore. I'm going to bring in Carmela for her." This was for her to get some shots and some meds for fleas, ticks, heartworm, and stuff. And they asked me, "Did you name her Carmela because of the Sopranos?" And I said, "Of course, Carmela Soprano." That is Edie Falco that plays that character. She's a very good actress.
You are not able to see the dog, but in any case, that's fine. She's sleeping right next to me. She's very cute. I haven't posted anything on social media about her. I don't know. But yeah, talking about her here. She is very cute. She's very likable, but she is still a puppy, October 27th, so she's still young. So she's like eating a lot of stuff, and that can be annoying. But one thing she does do is she likes to cuddle with you in bed. But part of the issue now that we're having, and I'm glad I'm documenting this now, but she's young as she grabs this cardboard box, which I put the microphone in. And she might try and act up or do something, so I might have to pause the recording. We'll see. We'll see. But anyways, very fun having a dog, and I did lose my train of thought there because I'm trying to watch what she's doing. And we will take a break while I go get her all set up. All right. I'll mark that one down as the first time she's interrupted. She's now laying behind me. But yes, very good to have golden retrievers, good to have dogs. And she's been really good. We're at this point in her life right now, it's her first summer, so I do wonder how much she is going to start shedding. But yeah, once it gets super nice out, I'll start running with her. In the past, I have done a handful of runs with her, and she's been good mostly on that front. Like staying up, the thing she does is, and I've said this to many people, she'll sprint forward because we have one of those leashes that is like a spin thing. It's basically like a tape measure almost. And where it's able to go out and then come back so there's no slack in it, which is very nice. And so use that, but she runs forward, to the max length, like 10 feet ahead, stops, waits for me to get up to her, and then she sprints again. Waits for me to get up to her and sprints again. It's a little annoying. But there also is some nice trails around us too, which I'm going to start running at as well. But yes, that is the dog. All right. She's on the couch now. She should be going to sleep. Um, Other thing, my wife and I, we are moved into a new apartment, which is nice, as you can definitely see from the background change. Still live in Pittsburgh, still live pretty close. But it was weird because the last podcast that I recorded was over at the other apartment, and I had no inkling that the next time I would record a podcast, I'd be in a different location. And I did think about doing a podcast over there while we were cleaning it out, but mostly it was laziness. I didn't want to do that and have to come up with topics. So I decided not to, but also, I mean, I was moving stuff out of the apartment, and we only had we had less than like 6, 7 weeks, and we're both working, so you had to fit it into your schedule, and it was tough. But with that being said, besides that, not much has changed. But I do think it's kind of cool to think about where I was the last time I recorded a podcast in the other area. Carmela, she's just whining. Anyways, she's fine. She's fine. Come on. She does get a little bit moody if you don't give her attention and if you don't play with her. She does kind of get a little annoying in the same aspect of, oh, here she comes. Can you see her? Meet, meet, meet. All right. There is her first appearance onto the show. I do love her a lot. I do love her a lot. She is. I like dogs that give you a lot of love. There she comes again. Sniffing. Say hi, Carmela. No, 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 don't eat it. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. For the most part, she's a good dog. Trying to eat the microphone? Trying to eat the microphone? Yeah. I will try and continue to do the show with her right next to me. Anyways, I want to kind of get into some topics here, if I can, if she will allow me to. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. I do want to talk about some things today in terms of space, a little bit of sports, because the last time I podcasted was before the Super Bowl, but I'm not going to talk about that at this point. I'm just going to talk about just kind of one thing in sports today. I am going to play, for the first time on my podcast, I'm going to play a game on the podcast. I have no idea how long or short this podcast is going to be, but with that being said, sorry for the long preamble. Just felt like I had to kind of share that stuff. All right. All right, here we go. As you can see, let's go to this first story here. JWST catches sight of a rare star on the brink of going supernova. I did want to kind of talk about supernovae and kind of what it is. I kind of talk about the best to my understanding what it is and all the different details surrounding it and such, as you know. And I also want to talk about um some other stories that involve the JWST and other stories that involve space as a whole. And I am going to do that in a little bit. But first, I'm going to take Carmela outside because she has to pee. Now we are ready to officially start the podcast. I apologize. All the delays, all the jump cuts. We're now going to get into the podcast. All right. So this James Webb Space Telescope catches sight of a rare star on the brink of going supernova. This is sciencealert.com. New image from the JWST. We will look at that later. There's some other pictures that I would like to show as well. Star WR124. Only certain stars turn into wolf riots. In just a few 100,000 years, it's going to explode in a glorious supernova. Wolf riot stars can be some of the spectacular. They are very hot, very bright, blazing away in a last stream of light at the end of their main sequence lifespan as their fusion fuel. That's the image right there. You can see it's just about to blow. That is a really cool image to see. Because you can see all the gas getting shot out from it. Because it's getting towards the end of, when it says fuel, it's getting towards the end of, I want to say it's hydrogen. I believe at the core is hydrogen. I do not have this in front of me, but I'm going to say that it will pull all of the fuel, the majority of the fuel, from the hydrogen that is at its core. And some things later is what you'll see is depending on the size and the supernova explosion, different things happen. So that is something to keep in mind. Significantly depleted in hydrogen, but rich in nitrogen or carbon. They are losing mass at a very high rate. Mass they lose is also high in carbon, which absorbs radiation, re-emits it as infrared light, which is something that James Webb Space Telescope can see. It makes it say that there. There's another one. Kerbal Space Telescope. This is 2015. Very, very cool. Now let's go over here. Look at this. Here's the Mary image. Meerkin and Mary combination. Why is this website not working? All right. I guess we'll have to skip that. That was not working. But anyways, speaking on supernova, a supernova is the biggest explosion that humans have ever seen. Each blast is the extremely bright, super powerful explosion of a star.
All right. So now let's get into what a supernova is. One type of supernova is caused by the last hurrah of a dying massive star. This happens when a star at least 5 times the mass of our sun goes out with a fantastic bang. So it's a much bigger star than our own. Because our sun most likely won't. I don't think our star will go supernova, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. And so here's what I was saying earlier about in terms of hydrogen fuel. Nuclear fuel at their cores or center burned. Gets very hot, generates pressure, and then that pressure is what is pushing out. As you can see with these red and blue lines right here. When a massive star runs out of fuel, it cools off. This causes the pressure to drop. And the star suddenly collapses. Because you got to imagine, once the fuel's gone, there's literally nothing pushing out the edge. So it just kind of rushes in. Imagine something 1 million times the mass of Earth collapsing in 15 seconds. Yikes. The collapse happens so quickly that it creates enormous shock waves that cause the outer part of the star to explode. Usually a very dense core is left behind along with an expanding cloud of hot gas called a nebula, a supernova of a star more than about 10 times the size of our sun may leave behind the densest object in the universe, black holes. You have to be a big, big star to get a black hole, which there are plenty of.
When it comes to these supernovas, these things are pretty big. So I just want to continue to move on. And this is a Wikipedia article that is just all about supernovas. It's a powerful and luminous explosion of a star. All of this stuff, different types in terms of sizes and all this kind of stuff. Core collapse. This is one thing I wanted to touch on. So these would be the potential layers of a star when it's at the end of its life. And as you can see on the outside, I believe hydrogen, helium, carbon. I think that's no, that's iron. Neon, oxygen, silver, maybe, and then iron. Or is that gold? I'm not sure. Do not remember. All right, let's see. Okay, here it goes. Concentric cells of hydrogen, helium, carbon, neon, magnesium, oxygen, and silicon are burning inside the stars. Iron, yes. So the core is made of iron. Okay, so the hydrogen is going to be the first thing in the star, the early parts of his life. Didn't mean to do that. Here we go. And then through nuclear fusion, not fission, but fusion, which we have not been able to do on this Earth, which is where you take you're fusing nuclear atoms to make to produce energy and also make new particles. So that first core will be hydrogen, and then it'll push out the helium. Through fusion, it'll make helium, and then helium will go to carbon, then neon, oxygen, so all that stuff, right? And so as you can see, the earlier parts will be on the outside because that's where the core will start. And as it goes, it creates all of these atoms. And then once it explodes, those atoms go flying everywhere. which is what I kind of wanted to touch on here. The elements created, because this is something that's really cool. And we got super lucky in our specific area because, I mean, if there wasn't a supernova around us that gave us these elements, we would not be here right now, because some of these elements do help create life as we know it on this planet. Supernova are a major source of elements in the interstellar medium, from oxygen through to rubidium. Though the theoretical abundances in the elements produced are seen in the spectra vary significantly depending on the various supernova types. Type 1A supernova produce mainly silicon and iron peak elements. Metals such as nickel and iron. Core collapse supernova eject much smaller quantities of the iron peak elements than type 1A supernova, but larger masses of light alpha elements such as oxygen and neon, and elements heavier than zinc. The latter is especially true with electron capture supernova. Type 2 supernovae is hydrogen and helium. Heavy elements are produced by nuclear fusion for nuclei up to silicon. Yeah, so it creates a bunch of stuff. Big Bang fusion, hydrogen and helium. And then look at all of these. Exploding massive stars. So the yellow goes all the way up to RB. So, and also all of these other ones right up here, you can kind of see how those are created through certain circumstances. Merging neutron stars creates a bunch of these really, really, really complex ones. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff and a lot of things right there. And it is cool to think about. It is cool to think about that some of the elements there are so crucial to life here on this earth, and we are extremely lucky that things worked out in our favor. All right, March 25th. I don't know if anybody else saw this, but I did. This was very cool to watch, very cool to see. Yes, just wanted to touch on that. There we go. All right. This Kevin Durant trade. Second trade request in 8 months. A lot of issues. Kevin Durant was traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the Phoenix Suns for a package that includes dynamic duo Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and 4 unprotected future first-round picks. Interesting. Immediately when I saw this, I thought, okay, well, now I would have to imagine that once Kevin Durant gets healthy, the Phoenix Suns are going to be the top team in the Western Conference. But I'm not too concerned with them in terms of if they're going to be able to make it far in the playoffs. But I mean, you watch what this team has been doing, and to be completely open and transparent, I have not watched a single game. I'm just saying in theory what I've seen is that this team could potentially do it. I think if Kevin Durant just doesn't get injured and he's able to kind of stay healthy, he can still, at this point in his career, he could still help lead them to a championship 100%. And you look, he's played 7 games with them, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, almost a block and a half, 2.3 turnovers. He's been playing 32 minutes a game as well in those games. So, I mean, you look at his field goal percentage, 58.2, 3-point percentage, 51.6, free throw percentage, 85. Shooting efficiency is 1.627. His 2% shot field goal is 60.8. Just insane. Insane. He's really good. And then the other thing is boom. Kyrie Irving got traded as well. Brooklyn Nets. Oh my goodness. Brooklyn receives Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, 2027 second round pick, 2029 first round pick, unprotected, and 2029 second round pick. Dallas gets Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris. This is an interesting one, I will say, to the least. Requested to be traded from Brooklyn ahead of the February 9th trade deadline. It was interesting. I mean, he's crazy putting up these numbers. 27, 5.3, 5.1. He's one of the best point guards in the league and one of the best scoring guards, period, of all time. Handles are on a completely different level. Shooting off the dribble, just insane. He is a very good player. But yeah, now let's go over to the Mavericks. Let's go over to these standings. They really have not played extremely well. They have not played extremely well. You can look at for who they have on their team, 114.2. That's not going to do it. Last 10 games, 3-7. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, it's tough. They gotta hope that they're gonna be able to win a game. I guess coming down to the wire for them. They got one final game. They should be 100% beating the Bulls. They're at home. I mean, with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, you have some of the best shooting that we've seen on a team since um the early Warriors with Steph and Clay when it was just before Kevin Durant. You have that same kind of offensive firepower in Luka and Kyrie. They play different styles, but they're really, really good. So, but however, it appears that the team as a whole is not putting it together. All right, if you're gonna watch this video, make a comment. Let me reload the page. This is the Russian sleep experiment. If the video doesn't load, I can kind of read it. This is something that I was talking to my wife about the other day. And it is something that I don't know how many people here know. There was an old app back in the day, and it was one of the original meme apps. And on it, there would be a lot of memes, and there would be other certain things that I would watch. And one of those things was scary videos. And this is a relatively scary, relatively. I mean, it's a story, but let's just take a listen. This is the Russian sleep experiment on creepypasta.
A purported experiment performed by Russian scientists to test the effects of sleep deprivation during the 1940s. For those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, this story is called the Russian sleep experiment, and it grew to become one of the most infamous creepypastas on the internet. Where did it come from? And how did it gain so much momentum?
I saw it on my app.
First found appearance of the story goes back to August 2009 on miscellaneous forum on the fitness goods website bodybuilding.com by the user Falcon Punch. Almost a year later, an article page would be created on Creepypasta Wiki title by the user Orange.Soda, making it available to all fans of creepy stories from around the world. By November of 2011, a YouTuber called Mr. Creepypasta decided to post a reading of the now partially finished story, reaching over 640,000 views over the following years.
Damn.
With the increase of its awareness, the story then landed on Reddit years after its original circulation in October of 2012. The website RussianSleepExperiment.com posted a retelling. After receiving a false rating on the fact-checking website Snopes under the justification of having no genuine records whatsoever of any related experiment performed by Russians during the 1940s, the story gained even more exposure. That was when the YouTuber by the name of Kyrie Creepypastas decided to upload his own retelling of the story, reaching more than 11 million views during the first year of its publication and over 26 million views to date, making this iconic image a synonym of the story. If you're asking yourself if this is the picture of one of the people in the experiment, you can calm your nerves down since it's nothing more than a life-size animated Halloween prop called Spasm that you can get for less than $150. But if you really intend to pursue the creepy sensation that the story can provide, then you must check out the homonym short film adaptation of the story that was released in January of 2016. For more creepypastas, check out the Creepypasta Wiki. How much more of this?
I can take. All right. Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations. This was before closed circuit cameras, so they only had microphones and 5-inch glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep on, but no bedding, running water, and toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. 15 days, no sleep. And I don't know how much I should read, but this is a very, very interesting story to say the least. This is one of the all-time goats for scary stories. I highly suggest you read it. I'm not going to take the time to read it, though. Venus volcanoes. There was a story about volcanoes on Venus that was found by a student. I saw it on it was either a local ABC station or CNN. One of these. But a student at a college discovered volcanoes on Venus in evidence. Dr. Becky, I follow her on Instagram and on YouTube as well. So yes, that is something that is cool. All right, Jets. Moving on to the NFL. The Super Bowl is done. However, that does not mean that there is not action happening. What do I think about the Aaron Rodgers situation? For those of you that do not know, Aaron Rodgers, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, has pretty much requested a trade to the New York Jets. He's been on Pat McAfee show multiple times saying that he's trying to be on the Jets roster. He's actively trying to work out a trade. with the organization. And I mean, he's free to do that. I don't know if it would be a smart idea for him due to the fact that I think he does not have a chance to win a Super Bowl with the Jets any more so than he does with the Packers. The Jets are probably a better team than the Packers, but even still, they're not gonna get to a Super Bowl as long as Patrick Mahomes is with the Chiefs. I mean, I don't get why you would try and move to that conference. There's nobody in the NFC who's doing that. There is no Chiefs in the NFC. I mean, we saw the Super Bowl. I just I just don't know if he could go to the Super Bowl in the AFC. Could he even get to the championship? What are the Bills going to look like next year? Who knows? I really don't know if this move, yeah, it'll help him not go 7-10. Yeah, of course. Zach Wilson throwing 1,600 yards, not what you want to see. But their defense is nice. But I don't know. They're in a tough division. New England might get better. Miami probably will maybe win 10 games. They might win 10 games. Buffalo's still going to be pretty much maybe 11 wins next year, I would imagine. But if he is traded, Aaron Rodgers will make them definitely better. I definitely could see them being second in the division if they get Aaron Rodgers next year and possibly. I mean, I could see them winning 10 games with Aaron Rodgers. I definitely think that they could do that. Maybe beat Miami and New England. They could get to 10 wins, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers on this team will deliver him a Super Bowl. But I get why Aaron would want to do it, but I do not see it as something that is going to change the NFL. All right, moving on. Largest bacterium discovered is visible to the naked eye. This is a story that I actually heard from Bill Maher. I follow his podcast on Instagram, and they posted a clip from his show, and he talked about this. So this is how I actually discovered this. It is Theo Margarita Magnifica. No, it's not that. All right. A bacterium that has now been classified as the largest in the world ever discovered. Theo Margarita Magnifica, as it's called, takes on a filament-like appearance and can be as long as a human eyelash. As the BBC knows, that makes it bigger than some more complex organisms such as tiny flies, mites, and worms. It was first discovered by marine biologist Olivier Gros living on sunken mangrove tree leaves in the French Caribbean back in 2009. Due to the organism size, Gros first thought he was looking at a eukaryote rather than simply prokaryotic organisms like bacteria. It wasn't until he got back to his laboratory that he found out that it wasn't the case at all. And they did confirm it was a single cell organism, 5,000 times bigger than most bacteria. It is comparable to an average person and counting another human as tall as Mount Everest. Wow. Further, it has around 6,000 billion bases of DNA. So is that 6 quadrillion? No, I don't know what that means. Is that 6 trillion? I don't know. A diploid human genome is approximately 6 gigabit 6 giga bases in size. So this means that our Theo margarita stores several orders of magnitude more DNA in itself as compared to a human cell. Very interesting. Was a cool little story. And then some in regards to Rome as well. There was a new discovery with Rome. Why was Roman concrete so durable? An unexpected ancient manufacturing strategy may hold the key to designing concrete that lasts for millennia. David L. Chandler, MIT News Office. Ancient Romans were masters of engineering, constructing vast networks of roads, aqueducts, ports, and massive buildings. Rome's famed Pantheon, which has the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome and was dedicated in 128 CE, is still intact, and some ancient Roman aqueducts still deliver water to Rome today. Meanwhile, many modern concrete structures have crumbled after a few decades. Researchers have spent decades trying to figure out the secret to this ultra-durable ancient construction material, particularly in structures that endured especially harsh conditions, such as docks, sewers, and seawalls, or those constructed in seismically active locations. Now, a team of investigators from MIT, Harvard University laboratories in Italy and Switzerland have made progress in this field, discovering ancient concrete manufacturing strategies that included several key self-healing functionalities. Published in the journal Science Advances. Many people thought it was this one ingredient, pozzolanic materials such as volcanic ash from the area of Pozzuoli on the Bay of Naples. Under closer examination, these ancient samples all contain small, distinct millimeter scale, bright white mineral features, which have been long recognized as a ubiquitous component of Roman concretes, often referred to as lime casts. Fascinated. These are not found in modern concrete formulations. Why are they present in these? Previously disregarded as merely evidence of sloppy mixing practices. Further characterization of these lime casts using high-resolution multi-scale imaging. The researchers gained new insights into potential. It had been assumed that when lime was incorporated into Roman concrete, it was first combined with water to form a highly reactive paste-like material in a process known as slaking. But this process alone could not account for the presence of the lime casts. Studying samples of this ancient concrete, he and his team determined that the white inclusions were indeed made of various forms of calcium carbonate. These had been formed at extreme temperatures, as would be expected from the exothermic reaction produced by using quicklime instead of or in addition to the slaked lime in the mixture. Hot mixing, the team has now concluded, was actually the key to the super durable nature. Benefits of hot mixing are twofold. First, when the overall concrete is heated to high temperatures, it allows chemistries that are not possible if you only use slaked lime, producing high temperature associated compounds that would not otherwise form. Second, this increase in temperature significantly reduce curing and setting time since all the reactions are accelerated, allowing for much faster construction. All right, here we go. During the hot mixing process, the lime clast develop a characteristically brittle nanoparticulate architecture, creating an easily fractured and reactive calcium source, which, as the team proposed, could provide a critical self-healing functionality. As soon as tiny cracks start to form within the concrete, they can preferentially travel through the high surface area lime clasts. This material can then react with water, creating a calcium-saturated solution, which can recrystallize as calcium carbonate and quickly fill the crack or react with pozzolanic materials to further strengthen the composite material. These reactions take place spontaneously and therefore automatically heal the cracks before they spread. Previous support for this hypothesis was found through the examination of other Roman concrete samples that exhibited calcite-filled cracks. And here's another one talking about it. MIT putting in the good work. Crazy how you have this material that can self-heal. Here's the actual article. I'll just read the abstract. Ancient Roman concretes have survived millennia, but mechanistic insights into their durability remain an enigma. Here we use a multi-scale correlative elemental and chemical mapping approach to investigating relict lime class, a ubiquitous and conspicuous mineral component associated with ancient Roman mortars. Together, these analyses provide new insights into mortar preparation methodologies and provide evidence that the Romans employed hot mixing using quicklime in conjunction with or instead of slaked lime to create an environment where high surface area aggregate scale lime clasts are retained within the mortar matrix. Inspired by these findings, we propose that these macroscopic inclusions might serve as a critical sources of reactive calcium for long-term pore and crack filling or post-pozzolanic reactivity within the cementitious constructs. The subsequent development and testing of modern lime class containing cementitious mixtures demonstrate their self-healing potential, thus paving the way for the development of more durable, resilient, and sustainable concrete formulations. Interesting stuff about the Romans. Hopefully one day I would love to talk to somebody about just like talk about Rome once I kind of understand it more. I do hope to visit it at some point during my lifetime again. I would really like to understand like a lot more about the history and go to historical places and see this thing that I have such a big interest in. But moving on, JWST captures detail of the 4 most distant galaxies ever seen. One of which formed 320 million years after the Big Bang. All right. Here we go. In 2 studies published in the Nature Astronomy journal, astronomers revealed they have unambiguously detected the 4 most distant galaxies ever observed. If you're watching the video, you can see the 4 most distant galaxies ever observed right here. Jade's GSZ 11 0, Jade's GSZ 130, Jade's GSZ 120, Jade's GSZ 100. I have no idea what really any of this means, but they are very far away. Greatest distance ever observed also confirmed the existence that Jade's GSZ 110 dates from 450 million years after the Big Bang and had previously been spotted by the Hubble Space Telescopes. All 4 galaxies are very low in mass. Roughly 100 million solar masses. 100 million. Milky Way weighs 1.5 trillion. All right, very poor in metals. This is consistent with the standard model of cosmology. Science's best understanding how the universe works would say that closer to the Big Bang, the less time there is for such metals to form. Very, very cool stuff. All right, last thing we have here. James Webb Space Telescope discovers oldest black hole in the universe, cosmic monster 10 million times heavier than the sun. If you go all the way back to talking about the supernova, very big stars or considerably much larger stars than our own, we're talking 10 times the size. All of those stars turn into black holes. So when that gas is pushed so far out and the star is so big, once that fusion stops and that stuff crashes in, that creates a black hole. And black holes are something crazy. Something crazy. All right. JWST discovered the supermassive black hole, which has a mass of 10 million times that of the sun at the center of a baby galaxy 570 million years after the universe began. Could be one of the countless black holes that gorge themselves to ever-larging size during the cosmic dawn, the period starting about 100 million years after the Big Bang, when the young universe glowed for 1 billion years. So it's a small part of that. First one we're finding at this redshift point in time after the Big Bang, where there should be many of them. Very, very interesting. The researchers will now begin working alongside the team that built MIRI to scan for an even stronger signature of the light coming from the distant galaxy. Those emissions could contain further clues about how the mysterious black hole formed at the galaxy center. Very, very cool. Very cool. All right. Interesting stuff, I'll say to say the least, right? Anyways, we'll take another quick break.
We are back.
Welcome in, welcome in. You can see me drinking Little Hug. These things are really good. I like them a lot. And I think this is only 5 calories as well. Tastes pretty good. All right. Anyways, as you can see, if I go right here, now we are going to shift to another part of our program, KSP. This is Kerbal Space Program. First time I am probably mentioning this game on the podcast, but when I was a freshman in college, many, many years ago, I saw somebody on YouTube playing this game. And at that time, I had been interested in space and trying to learn that kind of stuff. And I really fell in love with the game. And this was during summer session. So this was the summer of 2000, the summer of me before going into college. I want to say 2017. But yes. So during that summer, I watched this one YouTube video, this person playing this very game. And I was like, damn, that game looks fun. And so now, many years later, I still like to play this game. Not as much as I used to. I think, well, let me pull it up now. I've put in 697 total hours in the game. So I've put in a lot of time into this game, and I play every now and again. But today I wanted to play a mission live from start to finish, and I'll give like a brief. I'll talk about the game. Let's start new, and we'll just do sandbox, default name, ZMP for Zach Moore Podcast. You can choose what our flag will be. I don't know. You can look at this one. You can do. I'll pick a random one. We'll do this one. C7 Aerospace Division. Difficulty settings. Easy, normal, moderate, hard. Sure. All right, let's start it. Now, I really do like to play this game. There are multiple missions that I really like to do. But today, we're just going to do some good old-fashioned Kerbal. All right, so this is the Space Center. You see everything here. Vehicle assembly building. We are going to build a rocket, but first, let's go to the astronaut complex. I'm going to get some astronauts first. Let me just get all of these people. As many astronauts as possible, just in case we lose them. All right, vehicle assembly building. Let's build the rocket. Werner von Kerman. All right. So as you can see over here to the left, you can see different command pods containing different sizes. And for this mission, I want to take a couple of people up there. All right, so I'm going to do this one. Let's add a big parachute on top of it. And I do have some mods added to this game, so one of those mods allows me to just go right through the ceiling. So I have extra space. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to make a very large rocket. Going to get a heat shield because remember, we're going to try and come back to this planet. So let's add a nice big decoupler. And then right after that, we're going to have some kind of fuel source. We'll take this one. Music in this game ain't bad either. I'll tell you that much. Let's check out these different engines. All right, we're going to use this engine. We're going to actually move it more inside. So that we can put our landing struts on it. And now let's zoom in here. Look at these landing struts. Straighten them out a little bit. Go right here. Create that. Go back. All right. This will be our lander and return vessel. So on this, I am going to want to add some of these just in case on our way back to Kerbin, which is Earth, our batteries won't die. All right, so first stage, or technically our last stage, should be complete. Now, let's add another stage to help get us there. And because I do not want to have any problems, any issues, I'm not going to use mods for this. So I will not go that route. What I will say is I'll just show it is take this, and I have a mod that allows me to change the scale. So I could scale it up to this side, but I'm not going to do that. The reason why I would do that though is because the liquid fuel, there is an engine that will allow you to go very far because it's a super efficient engine, but it only takes liquid fuel. So that's part of the problem. But that engine is here somewhere. We got to find it. I don't know why I can't find it. Am I missing it? Right there. But part of the issue is it's got no power. Yeah. You need a lot of liquid fuel for it. So what we will do instead is take this. Add this onto it. I'm actually going to add these. And I'm not going to put anything over the top of these. Except throw these on here just so we don't lose connection. But I mean, we're going to have people on this the whole time. So I'm not too concerned with that really. All right, let's rotate these. There we go. Just because I just don't want this thing to die, you know. All right. All right, now what we are going to do is attach fuel lines from these external ones, connect them right here onto our fuselage. Then we are going to take this engine and reattach it. All right, now this is the thing that is theoretically going to help us get to the other place. It's got almost 2,000 delta V. All right, we're going to add, boom, decoupler. And then what we are going to do is you're going to add a protective shell for our aerodynamics. Because I do not want this thing to be getting a lot of drag as we go up into the air. I want this thing to be stable. So now what I'm going to do is attach a lot of rockets right here. And what I would usually do is attach that down there, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to attach these instead. I might not even need all that much. Oh, it's wrong. I mean, you look at this whole thing could maybe get us there, but for the fun of it, I'm gonna attach a bunch of boosters to our fuselage. You go like this. All right, let's get some of these. These are big boys. All right, let's add something to the tippity top. All right, nope. Right there. All right, now let's get this thing structured. So these strut connectors, gonna attach them around right here. And also, I'm letting you know in advance, this might take me multiple tries, but it should just be one solo mission. Like, no need to do anything crazy, you know? We are going to try our maiden voyage. This isn't a very tall one. So I'm not too sure how this is going to work out, but I'm going to toggle SAS. Have this throttle not really turned up too much. Yeah, see, this thing is pretty fast. So we're just going to kind of keep it on this track right here. I might wait until about 1,500 meters before I really start to turn this thing. We're really kind of going fast. All right, now I'm gonna go out, start turning it a little bit. Okay. Okay. Well, that's an issue right there that we cannot have happen. So we are going to make our first edit of the craft. Now let's try this again. And we'll try and go a little, I don't know. Let's try and see how this works out. All right, let's try this once again. You got liftoff. I'm just watching this. I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bit higher this time. But I'm gonna pretty much just let these things do most of the work on the way up, you know? All right. Yeah, I'm gonna just let this thing pretty much do all the work right here. And then now I'm gonna start adding this and start turning. Very slowly start to turn. Here we go. Should be in good shape now because we're through the majority of the upper atmosphere, so we're chilling. We will be A-okay in this. We're doing just fine. Doing good. We're right here. Now we're just gonna gun it right now. As we get out into the atmosphere. And we're just gonna burn right there. And you're gonna see how big this apoapsis gets. All right. So our first stage is done. We are in space right now. As you can see, Kerbin, we are floating away. All right, now let's detach all of those right there. As you can see, very nice as they come off. Next, we'll get this payload thing off to reduce some weight. Bing. All right, now we're going to detach. And we're going to start our other engine and fly away. All right. Look at that. Can't tell me that's not a cool view. All right, now the mun is going to be our target. And I think we could just go to there from here. All right, now we have our maneuver planned so that we can go to the moon. And now we're going to go towards maneuver. And we got 6 minutes. I should do some kind of EVA, some kind of getting out above the Earth. So I'll just take our engineer. If we lose him, we lose him, right? All right, I'm going to let go. Kind of hanging out. Very cool. Very cool. Gotta climb back in. Game is a lot of fun. I'll say that much. All right, now we are going to, as you can see on our map, we will not see it, but we got a little bit of time here, but I'm going to wait until we have about 40 seconds left to start this burn. So let's go forward. All right, let's start the burn. Let's see how this one goes. I might have done it too early. Maybe not. Maybe this will work. Wait. No, that's too much. All right. But we'll still be able to make it. That was kind of a weird one. All right, now let's try and slow down. All right. We'll be able to make this other maneuver. Oh, man. All right, we got 16 minutes. All right, let's wait. Till then. So far, this has been an interesting mission, to say the least. We've had a little bit of mistakes. We did go on an EVA. We were able to go outside. So that was cool. We should still be able to make it to the moon. I'm thinking. We just got to get this next burn like perfect, though. So here we go. Let's see. Let's get this perfect. All right. We got him. Here we go. All right. And then at this periapsis, we're going to retrograde burn. And then we're going to land. Let's wait till we get a little bit closer. Very fun, very fun. All right, let's do this. Let's keep going, keep going. And it's over there. All right, this big dark blot is the mun. And we can wait. And then we can kind of do this. Get right on the right there. All right. There we go. And we should have enough to be able to give ourselves a little bit of a descent too. We're gonna bring that right here. All right. All right, now I'm gonna start doing that burn because we will have more than enough to stop. But will we have enough to get back is the question. Find out. All right. It's looking good so far. Looking good so far. And this thing is powerful too, so I'm not even worried about it not being able to stop us in time. So we can cruise right on down here. Look at that. That thing is mighty strong. I'm not worried about it, brother. Here we go. Here we go. Here. Boom. We landed. There we go. We are on the surface of the mun. All right. Let's jump off. Mr. Scientist. All right. Look at that. Unfortunately, I do not think we can see Kerbin from here. Oh, there it is. Right above us. That's where we came from. This is where we're at. Very fun. Look at that. All right, let's plant a flag. What should we say on this flag? Mission so far is a success. So far, success. Will we get home? Who knows? All right. Let's take a surface sample. Surface sample from the Munns lowlands. The surface appears to be a fine dust with a grayish tone. Seems too flaky to make snowballs with. I would agree. Gonna keep that experiment. And let's get back onto our ship. All right. Now, our next thing is to go back home. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go to this 90 right here. I'm going to try and see where this line takes me. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right. All right. And then at the apoapsis. Do something like that. All right. All right. It's looking good. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I don't know if we'll be able to do it, but I'm going to do my best. Let's see. We might have to do the D-burn or something like that to get us into orbit around Kerbin. We might have to use a cheat for that, but so far we've only had one time where we had to redo anything, so that's fine with me. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. There we go. All right. Here comes our burn to go home. All right. We got this one. That'll get us out of orbit around here. All right, let's keep moving this down. All right, I guess right here is where we'll do it. So let's go to right here. You got a time warp. All right. So I do think it's going to take us about. It's going to take us some fuel in order to be able to get this. We're about 200 right here. And we have 667 meters per second left of fuel. And our periapsis at Kerbin is going to be 2.8 million meters. So we're going to be pretty far away from Kerbin. And I do not know if we'll have enough fuel. But let's try it out. I don't know though. I don't know. And like usually for a thing like this, like I would stop right here, go back, build a bigger starter rocket so that these inner between rockets don't have to do as much of the work, right? That's kind of how I would usually do it. But if we have to use cheats, we got to use cheats. I'm not losing sleep over it. All right. And we'll stop it right here. There we go. All right. 474 meters per second. All right. All right. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we'll be able to do it. All right, we're going to be able to do this. I want to bring this up to like 35,040. I'll do a little less than that, just so we get a little bit more of that atmosphere. Slowing us down. All right, perfect, perfect. This is going to work. This is going to work. So we're going to now go into the atmosphere of Kerbin, which you can see right here, to kind of help us slow down. So we're going to fast forward a little bit. Nice. This mission's working out really well. I'm glad. I'm glad. Oh, God, I completely missed it. Oh, God. All right, we'll just do it like this. All right, we'll do a little bit more. No. All right, 31. Here we go. Now, let's go to right here. You're as smooth. All right. So far the mission has been a little rocky. One thing that I would recommend to do is to, if you're able to, I like to use those vectors, the vector engines. Those are really good because you can attach like 6 or 8 of them to the bottom of a ship. So it can have super crazy power. But, and look at, sorry to interrupt, but look at how, we might as well just try and land right now. We might as well just try and land right now, right on our thing. I think we could do it. Let's check it out. All right, well, this is it. All right. We're dropping fast. This is the last straw. Here we go. We are at our final stage. And if you look, somewhere down there, down in this area, that's where our home base is going to be. We're going to fly by it, though. But we'll be there shortly. Oh, man. We're going to be coming in screeching fast, too. So I have no idea what's going to happen here. We're coming in super fast. This is going to be interesting to watch. And we don't have... All right. Let's see. Let's see. We might hit the atmosphere going 3,000 meters per second. Oh, man. Here we go. We are now in the atmosphere. Yeah, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. We're coming in screaming fast. Oh, no. Maybe. They got to endure some G's, though. Oh, no. Now stuff's exploding. Oh, we did it. Oh, man. Oh, man. That was closer than I wanted it to be. All right, now let's go down to the water. Wow, we did it. All right, once we get to 3,000, I'll deploy it. There we go. Now let's land in the water and end the mission. Look at that. Boom. How about that? Going to the moon and coming back. Our total time for that mission, 3 days, 5 hours, 54 minutes, and 15 seconds was that entire mission. How about that, huh? That is what I like to call a good, solid mission. There, ooh, I'm gonna actually, yeah, I'm gonna stop the share for a second. Go into here. Yeah, this is being kind of weird. All right, let's do this. Okay. All right. All right. Here we go. I don't know why this is being so difficult. Okay. All right. All right. Now let's go back. Back at home base. Successful mission. 3 crew members. No casualties. Nothing. All right. Last thing I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna end the show. I'm going to try and create a super fast plane. And then I'll be done. But this is fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this cockpit, and you're going to see why I'm making my craft in this way. You're going to see. Rocket fuel fuselage. There we go. I'll put this guy on it. Then we're going to put this right here. Then we're going to put another one of these. Bicoupler. Add these two vector engines onto the back so this thing could scream down the runway if needed. Now the issue here is we're going to need some of these on the side. Because now I'm going to put on what's going to pretty much take us to orbit before we turn these things on and try and go super crazy fast. All right, now time to put our engines on these. Look at these. Baby. All right. Oh man, that thing looks mean, dog. All right. Here we go. Gonna add some of this stuff right here. You want as many struts on this thing as you possibly can, just so it's more stable. All right. All right, and then I'm gonna actually add some on the bottom as well. It's gonna be hard. Or not. All right. Now let's add some wings onto this thing. This thing is looking nice, if I do say so myself. All right, let's turn this one up. God bless me. All right, let's try this. Nope. Bring it down a little bit. All right. All right, let's add. You got to strut everything up. You do not want to take a chance, especially if we're going to be going at these speeds that we're going to be going at. You do not want to mess around. All right. Add a canard on the front. All right. And then I like this look right here on the back. I like that. And they're very heat resistant. This would cause a lot of drag in the air, but I do not mind. But let's get them strapped up. Connect them right here. And then connect these to right here. Now we got to add some finneronis. All right. All right. I'm just trying to add as many wings on this thing as I can. So if need be, I can get lift and get some for my aerodynamics. But I think we'll be good here. Let me just throw in a little one right in the middle. I don't think we'll need all this, but I want to be careful. All right, now let's add some big ass wheels. Gotta make sure they're on both sides. There we go. I'll add a medium gear right here. Make sure that's center right here. There we go. All right, let's move this up a little bit. All right, now we should be good. Friction control. All right, let's turn the brakes on crazy for this so we can stop. All right, this thing's looking pretty sweet. Now, the only thing we need to do is assign actions because, and you'll see why. Let me go back to build so I can go behind. All right, actions. Custom 1. Toggle engine. Action 2. Toggle engine. No man control modules. It needs a crew. So I'm going to give it 2 pilots. And we, my friends, are going to see how fast we can go with this thing. I'm excited. I love making these and seeing how fast I could possibly go. This is one of the bigger ones that I've made before, but I just love these things on the back. Look at these. Come on, son. All right. Listen to that. How's this guy looking? Now we're really starting to pick up some speed. Look at that. The fire. As soon as we get to the end, we're going to take off. All right. You can tell it's a pretty heavy boy. But we're going to be able to get up. We're going to try and get up where there's not going to be as much interference from the atmosphere. So we're going to try and get up a little bit. And yeah, we'll try and stay relatively close to this side because I don't want to be trying to go super fast and going in the wind, you know? All right, now we are going to add a little bit of these engines. That should help us. I got 5,000. Oh, I had 5,000 meters per second. Come on, you should be able to get up. All right, let's try this now. If I turn these engines on, but I put their thrust down at, let's do 45. 44.5. 45 right there. 45 right there. All right. Now we don't need as much power once we have these engines going. But let's try and see what we can do. We're pretty high in the sky right now. Start to flatten out a little bit. And normally I don't like to do big crazy maneuvers like this in the sky because of this reason right here. Oh God. All right. We lost control. So it's gonna be, let's try and we got a little bit of a flame out. All right, so that did not work. That did not work. All right. Just because I can, I'm gonna go to cheats, infinite. And let's ignore max temperature. Let's see how fast we can get this thing, all right? Here we go. Come on. There we go. All right. It should be good now. All right. I want to go back to these islands and then we can. Oh. And then we can dance. We can dance. See how it looks in here. Passing over 1,000 meters per second. 1,500 meters per second. And have some overheating. There we go. We lost our other engines, but we're still able to go forward. There we go. 2,000 meters per second. And we're still pretty high up in the atmosphere, 10,000 meters. But I'm going to try and get, while we're still able to be in the atmosphere. Oh! Oh! Darn. That's all right, though. I think we'll be able to still land this thing. You got to be able to do it. I guess I do need this engine. Oh, God. I think I can do it, though. I think I can do it, though. Engines off, engines off, engines off. We did it. Oof. All right. Very, very fun. Let me recover that vessel. And we'll get out of there. I'll shut it out. I'll close it out. That was really fun. A lot of issues in terms of the building. I'm not the best at creating that type of stuff, but and that game's fun. I will say that. I really do like that game. And I really do enjoy you for sticking around to listen to me ramble after taking so much time off. let me close out a Kerbal Space Program. Next time I'll probably play Kerbal again. 'Cause that was pretty fun. But maybe Civilization 6. I could do a game in that. But that'd be a pretty long time. So I mean it's a maybe, you know? It's a I'm not too sure. I'm not too certain. We are all set. Everything's all good. The dog is asleep. This is Zach Moore Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you found that interesting, thank you. This was fun. I usually don't get to sit down and do that. And I've never done commentary while I've done it either. It's kind of fun. I probably didn't do it as good as I probably should have, but nonetheless, I had fun. Thank you so much if you watched all the way up until this point. I appreciate it, and I'll be seeing you soon. Thank you so much.